Whoopsie, didn't see that. Good thing I was nude and didn't pee in the water, so I was just way too cold. Listen to that wind. Well, welcome back for part 2 of the Eastern Sierra World Tour here. Now, as I said, if you want to go into the actual valley of Yosemite, I did that about a year ago with just the prime fall colors. We had some fog, some rain, some snow. Very nice pictures in that one. But part 2 of this year's trip, if you didn't watch part 1, go ahead and watch that first. And if you did, watch part 2. Enjoy these beautiful views. I sure am. Well, it's all downhill from here, so that's kind of nice, and I'm all cooled off. I like that. My first time filming like I'm walking along. Well, to my total surprise, I'm already back to the parking lot. It's that uphill, high elevation. Downhill seems so darn quick and easy. There's old Rita, still waiting for me. All my knickknacks. There's a quick glimpse of this lake in case you didn't watch volume 1, which it's more covered in. Well, that was a lovely day on the east side of Yosemite Valley. The summit is just under 10,000 feet for this road, so you're getting up there. Quite the roadway they've built here. Hard to believe the old 36-foot school bus made it up this. Now we brought you to Lee Vining to see an upside down house. Looks like they're closed. Darn it. $1956. There's your roof. That'll be the floor up there. Well, unfortunately it's closed, but he's got everything nailed in there upside down. Bed, chairs, everything's upside down. What do you think of that? There's an old stamp mill. Pretty impressive machinery. There's Mono Lake. Mono Lake, they're famous for their tufas. I was here a few years ago with my bride, so I might not go looking for them. Maybe put in some old footage. As with all these towns, super cute little community park. Well, that's pretty gnarly construction. That pass is just a tiny bit under 10,000 feet. Pretty nice reflections coming off the lake. Serious volcanic rock over there. Pretty snazzy visiting center. They are closed for the season. Houses around here. Cute little grocery store. I'll get me some avos and bananas, hopefully. Well, now we're on the June Lake Loop Road. Assuming we're heading to June Lake. I don't think that's June Lake, but definitely a nice one. Some nice colors coming down the crack. Cute little town at June Lake. Sun is going down. Well, I was cruising around looking for some campgrounds and kind of crowded. I figured why spend 35, 40 bucks just to park my motor vehicle. I found this long empty road and I'm going to park myself right here. Got another beautiful sunset happening. There's little Rita all ready for sleeping. Looks like a glorious sunrise this morning. Get some coffee going and some breakfast. Hit the road. Well, looks like it's shaping up to be a glorious day out here. So the whole goal of this trip was to get to the 120, the East Gateway to Yosemite, since I got shorted a year ago trying to go over and around the whole thing from the west. So we've met that goal. And I guess we'll be heading on down south and see what we can find along that way. Well, that was a pretty darn nice camp spot. Now we're gonna go look for some hot springs. That there is the White Mountains. I think I found a hot spring to check out. Cute walkway over the little marshlands here. I have a feeling this is a popular. That might look like water. It's all like salt. A little water right in the middle there. Pretty interesting. Nice colors of that. So far I haven't seen anyone coming or going on this trail, so being a man that doesn't do much research, I really have no idea how far this walk is. Could be all the way over yonder. I would assume that's the hot spring right there, so show you a picture in case there's people in there and I can't film. Well, that was more like it. Since no one was there, all the sediment cleared. I was able to dip under and hold my breath and listen to the volcanic activity as I used to do in Owens Valley. Whew, man, that was awesome. The view I had while I was submerging. Not to be bragging, but I think I scored. Been here like an hour. Nobody's here for such a easy access and popular spot. I saw pictures of this place just jam full of people. Man, look at that pool right there. Oh boy. These are pools on the other side. Good Lord, that looks good. I'm going to have to jump in once more. Alrighty, I just can't resist that deeper pool. I'm going for a third dip, baby. Hope I don't black out. I've seen lots of water sources in my day, but generally they're coming out of a cave or out of the ground. This one's a little gurgler. Well, when I first got there and there were some people coming and going, I was very surprised how many people drive all the way out here and walk the little trail, which ain't much, and they just dip their little toes in. I don't know how you could do that. Just tilted my hat and said hello to about 6 strangers in a row on the little boardwalk, and only one of them barely kind of smiled. Although they could be on the valve silence, you never know. Like I said, I guess I timed it pretty good. The place is filling up, mostly gawkers. That's the Convict Lake Zone that is in part 1 of this 2-part series. Beautiful spot. Well, I just can't get enough. We're heading to another hot spring. It's got to be better than the last one, or probably not going in. Pretty slow going mile. It's a lot like Owens Valley, just massive washboards. Well, that spring was adorably cute, but it's very small and it's got one guy in it. It didn't feel quite as warm as the last place, so I'm gonna skip, go see if hot water's coming out of these rocks. Well, I reckon I'm totally wrong. It looks like your regular old volcanic rock. Like I was saying, a pretty small tubby. Looks kind of nasty compared to the other ones I was just in. There goes the third foreigner I've given directions to the better springs that are coming out of this nasty little tub. I think they're all from France. Dude, doggies. Little Rita found herself a smooth section. Oh, welcome to Owens Valley. Other side of those mountains is Saline Valley. Cerro Gordo's up in there. Keeler, Lone Pine, Big Pine. Cute town of Bishop again. One of the bigger towns. Cafe seen better times. Just the mother load of old crusty wagons. Me and my darling in our old crusty wagon going down the dusty trail. Goodness, thousands of them. Next stop is up in those hills there, Onion Valley. We'll check that out. Some serious climbing. That's the road we're heading up. It's a lot of switchbacks. Woo. Going hot. Pretty darn amazing how they even build these roads. Sweet mother, it's a steep one. Town of Independence down there. All the trees and green are. Pretty quiet up here. I haven't had one car go by either way. Kearsarge Pass. It's the highest I've ever hiked backpacking with some friends. A whole heap of lakes up there. So I did a little 5-day backpacking trip here in high school back in the 1970s. And I remember there being a lake, a small one, not too far from the bottom, but it is just straight up. I might walk a little ways and look, but I'm probably not prepared for a 10-mile hike. I do recall we all one by one got sick and puked from elevation sickness on that trip. I mean, the parking lot is who knows how many thousands of feet up. The pass way up there. So most people parked here are backpacking for at least a week or two throughout this whole zone. So I've only made it that far due to the high elevation. pretty slow going. So if you're a youngster, Onion Valley, great place to go backpacking. Once you get up to the pass, just the most clearest, beautiful lakes you'll ever see. Yeah, old angry lungs can't take it. They're just beautiful. I do remember in high school being so happy to see the parking lot. I think we're only up here like 5 days, but man, I gotta be honest, folks, I doubt you're gonna be seeing any lakes. Someone said it's about 1.5 miles, which don't seem far, but it's just straight uphill. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Well, maybe we're in luck. This is off the main trail, so maybe there's some lakes that aren't too far. It's been so straight uphill, I haven't even been able to singe my angry lung on any of these hikes. So if you've been enjoying the views on this trip, you can go further down on the channel. About 3 years ago, I was in this whole same zone, and it was just snow all the way down to the road, so it gives it a whole different vibe. That's further down on the channel under Snow to Dust. Well, I'm really hoping this trail veers to the right in this big basin here. And that's the cute little lakes. I have to go up and over some sort of mountain. It's pretty locked in here. Still no sign of any golden ponds. Must be all the way up there. Well, it's pretty obvious the lake is not on this side of the waterfall. Must be on top of that next ridge. Oh Lord, I guess I'll keep going. Well, the first lake on the main trail to the pass or summit is right below those peaks. It looks like I'm going higher than that, so I probably should have stayed on the same trail. Should probably have a hiking partner with me on these kind of hikes. One sprained ankle, I'm doomed. There ain't no one around here. Plus, I'm pretty lightheaded. I'm in way over my head. That whole section was just crawling on all fours. And it smells like bear pee. Would be handy if it told you how far some of the hikes were on their signage. Sorry to say, but I'm aborting the mission. Looks like it's way the heck up there still. There's no little lake right here. It's just a lake, Roy. My legs are worn out. I can't really go anymore. And I need to get down there by crawling, basically. So, not to mention, I'm kind of dizzy. Sorry, folks. Abort mission. Abort. It's a crying shame, too, because I know there's a beautiful crystal turquoise lake on the other side of that ridge right there. And probably a heck of a lot easier hiking, because that's the main trail. This was dog climbing the whole way. Oh well, now I know. Well, I'm pretty disappointed in myself, but you gotta know your limits. The legs were weak. The lungs aren't like they used to be. It's like I said in part 1 of this movie production. You think you made it to the top of the mountain, but really just at the bottom of the next. You must admit, it's not like a trail. I'm just climbing down a freaking landslide here. Just sliding on all fours. see the parking lot again, so it gives me hope. Oh, flashbacks of my high school trip here. Thank goodness. Down the slide and back onto some regular looking trail here. It's not so deadly. Didn't make it to any little lakes, but pretty proud of the fact I made it all the way above those trees to the base of that rock right there, when I realized like there's just a whole nother mountain to get over. Well, that was a mistake. Should have stayed on the main trail. Looks way easier, probably a lot lower, not climbing, and I still would have saw a turquoise lake. Maybe next time. I mean, compare that to the stuff I just climbed up. Yeah, poor signage. California. Ooh, thank the Lord. There's little Rita the van waiting for me. Well, that about concludes our hiking here at Onion Valley. Now, if you do want to see some lakes, go to part 1 of this movie picture. There's a whole heap of lakes. Bunch of Yosemite Valley lakes and whatnot. Well, I didn't reach my destination, but I'll give myself props for climbing that landslide. I made it above those trees on the ridge and right below that red rock zone when I realized I had a ways to go. Wow, beautiful campsites here. Not a soul in any of them. I'd be pretty tempted to stay here, except it'll be freezing. I want to get back to the desert to take me a solar shower in the warm weather. Awesome campground though. I see it from this angle. It's the waterfall, the ridge, the red rocks, a whole nother landslide I would have to get over to hopefully be to the lakes. My tiny little rose stem legs, I don't think they could have made it. Could do a herd of deer. Crazy steep road, man. When I get home, I'll take a gander around and see if I can't find some pictures of the Onion Valley backpacking trip when I was a youngster. We'll throw a few of those in for you. Dang, my brakes are actually smelling. Use my gears, but dang, it's up. Right back to where we started. Good old Lone Pine. Due to the Alabama foothills Whitney Portal Road being closed, it's a pretty long detour. Just looking for a place out here in the desert. I won't be heading to them Alabama foothills, back to where I belong. Not tilting my hat, saying nothing to strain. Oh gosh, there's Mount Whitney again. I think we'll spend the night right here. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's trip. That was one cold solar shower. Desert ain't so warm as it was a few days ago. And I got here kind of late. But time to cook up some vittles. Now I'm sure some of you are thinking to yourself, Daddy Roll, you should do a lot of driving while filming, kind of dangerous. Well, as I've said in a past video a while ago, I just hit the video on my phone and I never take my eyes off the road. I get a whole bunch of knees and a whole bunch of crap, and then get a little chunk of something nice and edit out all the filth later. So pretty safe. So once again, that there is the White Mountains, or the Inyo Mountains. Saline Valley on the other side of that. A little sunset action way over there tonight. And then that's all the Sierras. Don't look like Mount Whitney's going to really light up tonight. That's in part one. Got some beautiful sunrise and set there. Well, I guess I was wrong about there not being much of a sunset. Just incredible all of a sudden. My goodness. And it's not just over the west, it's everywhere. Zoom in on the old highest peak in the continental United States of America. Gee willikers. .360, every inch of the sky is colored. Well, between the late solar shower and making some dinner, little Rita got pretty mashed up. It was a heated rush. I got some serious housekeeping to do. My goodness, what happened? I try to keep it clean and orderly. Van life is rough, baby, I tell you. Those dots above the lights, those are all cars coming down from Mount Whitney. Probably climbed all the way to the top. Look at them all coming down. Woo. There's the grade, the Horseshoe Meadows. I saw a car coming down. Sunrise over Cerro Gordo. Well, that concludes our October 2024 tour of the 395 Eastern Sierras. I sure hope you enjoyed the views, and I sure am blessed and fortunate to be able to do such a thing. And we got one more stop to make along the way, see if my friend Elaine is home in Keeler, and say hi to her and just give a couple shots of that town real quick. And then we're heading all the way south to San Diego. Looks like someone's doing some serious prospecting in the White Mountains. It's a big cave. So we're taking the Dolomite Loop. Basically parallels the main road that goes to Keeler and Death Valley. There's Owens Lake. About 10 years ago it was this bone dry, causing a lot of dust issues for everything, and it's slowly been filling up. I like to call it Lake Keeler. There's the lovely town of Keeler. Get yourself a cheap piece of land there. Now they used to have buckets coming all the way over from Saline Valley bringing salt, and this was like the train station that they'd unload at. I believe Sarah Gordo unloaded here too, I'm not sure. Nice fire truck. There's the cute post office. That's my friend Elaine's house. She's the one that convinced me I needed a school bus to go into Saline Valley, and she was certainly right. Let's go see if she's home. She's got the Om out front. She was pretty big into Krishna. Brought me to the temple a bunch of times for free food. I've always liked this guy's property. He's boarded himself in with pure junk. And every time I come, there's just more and more. It's pretty cool. Just completely buried in filth. Cute little horsey. So Keeler used to all be on the lakefront. Even had a lakefront swimming pool. We'll go show you. So no one answered at my friend's house. We're just giving you a quick tour of the town because you get through LA for traffic. But that's the Sarah Gordo mine up in there. The Keeler swimming pool. Must have actually been pretty awesome when there's the lake right through there. That white stuff is. They've put in a stage since the last time I was here. It's like a good place for the bucket ruckus to play. They even had their own beach surf club here on Sarah Gordo Street. Now it's pretty darn amazing. They built a tramway with little buckets that carry salt all the way from Saline Valley, the other side of those mountains, which is the second lowest place in the United States. Quite the engineering feat. And that must be one of the processing places for all the salt. Oakley dokley, that's pretty much it. You can see the grade up the Horseshoe Meadow there. Steep ass hills, I tell you. Here's the railroad station. That was the end of the line. Load everything up with salt, and silver, and whatnot that they get out of the Inyo Mountains. I only subscribe to 5 or 6 things on YouTube. And one of them is Ghost Town Living. It's about this guy that bought this town of Sarah Gordo and has been rebuilding it. Super good talker, cool dude. I recommend watching that. That's the beginning of the road. Well, I guess because he's a YouTube sensation, guy has like, I don't know, close to 1 million subscribers. He's had to put a sign up, 9 to 5, you can go up there. Need a truck. Pretty much at the base of that last mountain up top there. Guy gets snowed in, road gets washed out every winter. He has a house in Keeler because everything he brings up there to rebuild, he has to station there in Keeler and haul it up there on this big truck some guy gave him. I mean, he's hauled up a lot of stuff. He's rebuilding the hotel that burnt down once he bought the place. And that is a lot of lumber, making it to code and cement and getting some water source, all that. But I guess when you think about it, that's really nothing compared to the 1800s when everything they did had to be brought up there by mule, wagon and mule. That's the road you take to Owens Valley, folks, where I started all my bus trips. It used to make so much dust that they would keep track of it from satellites in space. If you watch the snow to dust video, you'll see what I'm talking about. A big dust storm hit me that time. Right after this little dip in the road, there was a hot springs called Smelly Socks. And it was always pretty lukewarm and kind of smelly. We won't be stopping. That's where your crystal geyser water comes from. Big water factory, they're sucking it out of the ground. Like I misspoke on the Onion Valley backpack trip in high school. It had to have been after high school a few years because I did not have my big hair going yet. Holy hell, we're back in the thick of it now, baby. Well, we've arrived home safely, and my little mouse friend here, he winds that thing to keep track of the odometer. It looks like we did 1,030 miles, a little over 200 bucks in gas. Half a tank will get you all the way to Lone Pine. Not bad. Thanks for all your hard work, buddy.